Ladies and gentlemen, hello and welcome from Frankfurt to the review about the FUJIFILM X100F, which is on the market since 2017. It has a fixed focal length, and so it's not necessarily a point and shoot camera, but anyways it takes outstanding photos. So enjoy this review. Here's the lens. As you can see, it's a fixed focal length, and if you want to change the aperture you can do so by turning the ring. So that's an aperture of 2, and if you want to close the aperture it goes down to f16. If you want to have all these stops in between, just lock it at a different position. So that's the aperture of f2.2, that's 2.5, that's 2.8. On top, as you can see, is the hot shoe for an external microphone or an external flash. If you would like to change the shutter speed, just use that dial. If you would like to change the ISO, you need to pull that switch to you, and then you can change the ISO. There's the shutter release button. On the side is a port to attach an external microphone, but in this case it's not 3.5 millimeters, it's just 2.5 millimeters. Here is a mini HDMI port and a micro USB port, and with that port you will be able to charge the battery inside the camera, for instance with your laptop or with a power bank. On the lower side, as you can see, is a standard tripod mount with the battery and the SD compartment at the side. At the side is a switch for the manual focus, continuous shooting and a single shot. Here is a focus light, here is the flash, and here this switch is super nice because you can change from the optical viewfinder into the electronic viewfinder, which I will show you in a second. Here is a huge screen. It's not a touch display, and here's the optical viewfinder, so as an electronic viewfinder, and here a little joystick to change the focus points, and the buttons have a really good feeling. If you would like to change now from the electronic viewfinder into the optical viewfinder, just use that dial and it looks like that. The menu of the FUJIFILM X100F is super simple to use. You have 6 main points, for instance for the autofocus, for the photo mode, for your video mode. It is equipped with a Wi-Fi interface, so you'll be able to transfer and control the camera with your smartphone and share these files from your smartphone with your friends and customers. And you will be able to record in RAW and JPEG. A really cool feature about the FUJIFILM X100F is that you have all the old films by Fujifilm directly into a digital version on that camera. Make sure to record your photos in JPEG and in RAW, because on the JPEG you have the filter right away, and if you only record your photos, or if you only take your photos in RAW, you have to put these filters back on in Lightroom later on. You can easily access these filters by pushing the button next to the menu button, and as you can see, for instance, you have the Provia standard, then we can go down to the Velvia. My favorite is the classic chrome, which is super nice. It gives you a lot of neutral colors and it's a bit more contrasty. The minimum focus distance on the FUJIFILM X100F is at 50 millimeters with the standard lens. There is an adapter for wide-angle shots where you can reduce the minimum focus distance down to 10 centimeters. But with the aperture of f2.0, it doesn't look too good, to be honest with you. If you stop down to f2.8 and take a close-up shot, as you can see, it looks much better. And of course you can download these files as well. The link is in the video description below. If you go into the menu to the movie settings, you'll be able to record your videos in 1080p and 720p with up to 60 frames a second, and there's no 4K video on that camera. To step now into the video mode, you need to hit the drive button. Then you can get all the way down to movie and hit the shutter release button to start a video. Hit it again to stop the video. As you can see, the maximum recording time for a full HD video is just 14 minutes and 30 seconds. The FUJIFILM X100F allows you to take great time-lapse photos, not videos. So you can change the interval set a start and a stop time and choose the number of photos that you require for your time-lapse. Just make sure you get rid of the annoying shutter release tone, otherwise you'll be hearing all the time tick, 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 and enjoy. To use the continuous shooting mode, just press the drive button here on top. Then you'll be able to choose between 3 frames per second, 4, 5 or a maximum of 8 frames per second. But if you take your photos with 8 frames per second, you are able to shoot like for 1 or 2 seconds and then the buffer is already gone. If you take your photos or videos inside the manual focus, just make sure to hit that dial once. Then you get into the zoom function, and if you hit the AEL button once, it's going to set the focus even if you're in manual mode. The low light performance of the FUJIFILM X100F in my opinion is quite good. You can go up to ISO 51200 on the switch up here, and till 6400. I think it's quite usable for printouts, and for Instagram of course you can extend up to the maximum. And here are some examples, and these examples are available for download and private use. The link is in the video description below. Let's get to a quick conclusion about the FUJIFILM X100F. I really enjoyed playing around with this camera. It's compact, it's super lightweight. It's a camera that you can carry always with you. The video quality was super nice. The low light performance is outstanding for that small sensor. I really enjoyed playing around with the film simulation because it gives you kind of an old photography feeling. Also here with the ring to change the aperture gives you something from the old times, you know. The only point which was a bit disappointing is the port to attach an external microphone. This one here is just a 2.5mm instead of a 3.5mm. And there was another point which I didn't like too much, is that the SD card is next to the battery compartment. I would have enjoyed having the SD card here at the side, just in case the camera is on top of a tripod. Apart from that, thanks to Fabian, you can find many of these files in the video description below for download and of course for private use, also in RAW and JPEG. Thanks for watching, see you soon from cold and freezing Frankfurt.